849, Happy Gilmore 2 is the blockbuster that gave a boost to New Jersey's economy. The film, starring an awfully nice guy I've gotten to meet a few times over the years, Adam Sandler, wasn't just a fan favorite, it made history here in the Garden State. In fact, the movie spent $152.5 million during 64 filming days across 31 towns and 9 counties. That was a hell of a boost to the economy here for us, making it the largest production spend in New Jersey history since the state's film tax credit program was reinstated in 2018. Joining us this morning is Jon Crowley, who's the executive director of the New Jersey Motion Picture and Television Commission, to talk about what this means for the state's growing film industry, the Netflix effect at Fort Monmouth, and how it all translates to jobs and dollars for our communities. Jon, good morning to you.
Ken Rosado, 8:50 in the morning. How are you not exhausted? I've been watching you for the last 15 minutes, and all these conversations, you are all over the place. You're like a bee that's pollinating wherever you go. You've already done more in the last 15 minutes than I have in the last day and a half. I'm telling you, my friend, you are everywhere.
Did my mother
Just
put
like
you
Happy
up to
Gilmore.
this?
No, Pam, no, but just like Happy Gilmore, there's a transition, my friend. $152 million throughout the state, right? And I think they were in 31 different towns all around the state. And it was fantastic. And that's, people talk about the incentive program that the governor and the legislators in Trenton put together back in 2018. And that's what it's all about. It's about jobs and it's about qualified spend. They don't come to the state with groceries and hotel rooms and gasoline and rental vehicles, and when they need to do the cleaning of their costumes, the dry cleaning, or they need hardware for paint and brushes and things like that. They're acquiring all of that here in the state. So that $152 million was spread around 31 different towns over, I think, 64 days of filming. So it's fantastic. That's why we do what we do. And I'll give you one more set of numbers, which last time we spoke about a month ago, I don't know if we got into or not, but year over year, we went from the industry spent $592 million in 2023 to last year was the biggest year in the state. The studios and networks spent $837 million throughout the state. And we went from 17,000 crew hires in 2023 to 30,000 in 2024. And we were the only state, when you look at the states with a film tax incentive to get studios here to spend their money and hire our people, and those are the two reasons why we do what we do, out of the top 10, so that's Louisiana, that's Georgia, that's New York, that's LA, that's Texas, Illinois, Toronto even, although that's in Canada. But if you look at the top 10, here in North America, we were the only state that was up in production. Everybody else was down. New York was flat. Everybody else was down. We were up 41%. So pretty amazing. That's why we do what we do.
And just for people to think about it, what would have happened financially had we not had that money? Think about the deficit that we have in New Jersey right now. Can you imagine if we didn't have that huge influx of cash throughout the state? That just tells you how essential. This isn't just a nice little cherry on the sundae. This is essential to our economy at this point.
I mean, look, I have a son that's at a university right now. I come from 30 years of working in the industry. I started as a writer and a director and an editor, moved my way up to showrunner, and then created shows, sold shows. I'm putting a child through college. And I think about all the people that when I go out to sets, when I see members of IATSE or the Teamsters, and they talk about, this is incredible to be able to wake up in the morning, get in our car, and go drive to work to get to set, as opposed to it's been 20 years of driving across the river or going across a border to another state. It's right here, and they love it. And they're all putting kids through college, and they're buying homes and paying taxes, and that's what it's all about, man. It's creating jobs and getting that spend all throughout the state. That's one of the things the commission does, is we work very hard to, when location managers and scouts come in. By the way, I'm going to shout from the rooftop here for a moment. the Film Commission just did win an award from the Location Guild Manager International, Best International Film Commission. And one of the things we do is we work very closely with location scouts and location managers, and we have a location library that they can come to, and we try to get them to see that there's so much around the state in terms of architectural looks and natural environments. You can go from the ocean to a mountain with snow in 90 minutes. And I tease my friends in New York, it'll take you 90 minutes to go crosstown, right? But
Yes.
you can
Oh,
go
that's
from
true.
one look to another, or we have a small Mayberry RFD sort of town look, Main Street, to a big city. And they're in the northern part of the state and then the southern part of the state. You can go down to Camden County, or you're up in Newark or Patterson, Hoboken, and then everywhere in between. We've got horse farms in central Jersey. So it's a wide variety of looks. And for a location scout or a line producer or a unit production manager, time is money, right? So if you've got a script with multiple different looks, New Jersey's one-stop shopping. We've even doubled as Southeast Asia. And I said once to the governor, I said, the only thing we don't have is a desert. And he said, no, we have 30 acres in Lacey. And it's true. So we've even actually doubled as some places in the Middle East with sand dunes. So it's one-stop shopping. And we offer that, by the way, Ken, to small productions, big productions. We have a thing called Film Ready. So if you're a municipality and you want to become a film ready town, it's a certification program. You go through a workshop, what to expect when expecting a film production in your town. We'll give you the training. We'll help you put together an ordinance or a code of conduct for your town. And then what we're doing is we sat for about 4.5, 5 months last summer with the Attorney General's office, and we redid the whole program to create consistency through the state. So if you're a studio or network, now you know exactly how many days, if you go to a film ready town, to get a permit, what the permit fees are, right? So there's no question, because previously studios or networks would say, oh, there's 564 different towns in New Jersey, meaning there's 564 different sets of rules. So with this program, we're trying to build consistency. We 100% increase in the number of film ready towns just this August, and I think I think we're now up to like 45 or 46 towns. By the end of the year, I'm pretty sure we're going to hit about 60, 65 towns. So we're just growing it exponentially, because these towns realize we'd love to have production in, because when they come here, they're going to buy our services. If it's a late walking meal, they're going to go to our pizza place or a sub shop to go get food. When Spielberg was down in Cape May in March, we pointed out to a state senator, we said, see, there's 350 crew members here today. They're all staying at 8 hotels in your district at an average of $285 per night. And the senator looked at me and he said, and it's in the off season. And I said, yes. And the hotel owners are ecstatic that you're here, that the production's here. And then every night, they take their per diem and they're buying dinner at restaurants all around that district. So that's what it's all about.
And that's how we spread the wealth. And the idea that we have the New Jersey Motion Picture and Television Commission to help facilitate this, so that when somebody's thinking about shooting a production in New Jersey, they don't have to look up the town and get the contact and try to go through the process. You facilitate that. Between that and the tax credit incentive, that's why, and we're out of time, unfortunately, John. We're going to have you back, because we want to talk about Netflix. But the
Yeah.
idea that you help facilitate this, and people get the incentive, the tax incentive, makes all the difference. Jon Crowley, please come back, Executive Director of the New Jersey Motion Picture and Television Commission. You rock. Thank you for saving New Jersey's ass, and thank you for joining us this morning, my friend.
Thank the governor and the legislators for opening the door to this, and all of our great commissioners. It's all about spreading the word about New Jersey.
Credit where credit's due. You are right, sir. Have a good day, John, and thanks for watching On New Jersey Mornings. Take care.